This might be new for some of you. When you take communion or the Lord's Supper, you must examine yourself for sin or else you can get sick and die. Okay? When you take communion, you must examine yourself for sin or else you may get sick and die. Now, I want to ask you, well, at least if you heard this, maybe in your old churches growing up, I don't want to mention your churches now. But how many of you have been taught that when you take communion, you need to search your heart for sin? You need to confess it, right? Because you don't want to take it in an unworthy manner. Now, let's read Corinthians chapter 11. It says, "So then whoever eats the bread or drinks the cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner will be guilty of sinning against the body and blood of the Lord. Everyone ought to examine themselves before they eat of the bread and drink from the cup. For those who eat and drink without discerning the body of Christ eat and drink judgment on themselves. That is why many among you are weak and sick, and a number of you have fallen asleep." Okay, and it says, "But we are more discerning with regard to ourselves. We will not come under such judgment." Let's just stop there because of time. Now notice that people can have this fear that if you don't take it in an unworthy manner, you could get sick and die. It says that. That's why some of you are weak and sick, and some of you have fallen asleep. What does falling asleep mean in the New Testament? You died. So if that's the case, that if you don't check your heart first for sin, it's kind of more scary, right? You might as well, when the cup and the plates get passed down, you might as well just say, "Skip me," right? Why would you want to take it? If you take it wrong, you could die and get sick. So what was Paul talking about here? See how people use the Bible? People have abused this passage. And I'm telling you, if you get this revelation of grace, this will be one of the most liberating passages you read in the New Testament. Here's what goes on. Now, the reason why, remember, these are just translations. It uses the word judgment, and they use the words damnation in the KJV, because people who translated the KJV kind of had the sense of conveying words with punishment and condemnation and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean it's correct. The original word for judgment is krima. And you know what it means? Decision. That's it. You make a decision or you make a decree. So are all judgments bad? No, you make good judgments, you make bad judgments. So what was going on here? Notice he doesn't say if you take it as an unworthy person, but you take it in an unworthy manner. Are you worthy? Yes, because of Jesus Christ. That's clear. So what he's saying here is that you fail to recognize when you take communion that his broken body was done for you. He was broken for you so that you may be healthy and whole. Amen. You fail to discern it. So since you fail to discern that, that's why the Corinthians were suffering unnecessarily. That's why many of you are sick and some of you have fallen asleep. They were suffering unnecessarily because they were taking the bread and the wine without recognizing what Christ has accomplished. That by his stripes you are healed. When you fail to discern, it's just like saying, Jesus didn't die for my sins. By his stripes I am not healed. Is this making sense, folks? So what does it mean to judge yourself? Is that when you judge yourself in light of the finished work of Jesus Christ. What does it mean to examine yourself? That the next time you take communion at your church, examine yourself and say, are you struggling with condemnation? Are you struggling with guilt? Are you struggling with sickness or disease in your body? Then prepare a communion table before your enemies and watch God's power manifest. Wow. Amen. And I've known of people who get healed during communion. They just take it in faith. Okay? It's your faith. And this is just a reminder and proclaiming the Lord's death.